I first met my co-host when she had a syndicated talk show all about sex. Sex with Sue McGarvie. And I am the milkman John Milky, host of The Milkman Show, heard on radio stations across North America. And my home base, blasttheradio.com. We're glad you're here. Let's get turned on. There she is, the brawless wonder herself, Sue McGarvie. Things she reveals to me before we turn the microphones on.
Yeah, it's okay. It's like the girls are running free today. Free, all go commando. We're frolicking the long grass. Yep.
Because it has to do with the fact that your blouse
it has a shoulder thing, and if I wear a bra strap, I don't know if anybody could see it, then you would see my bra strap. So,
but I thought the open shoulder exposing a bra strap was like the new trendy thing. All the cool kids were doing it.
You know what? I don't like the look, and I don't like the look with this top. So fuck it. I just went ahead and got rid of the bra completely.
All right, turned on the podcast today. We got a lot of things that we want to get to, beginning with, and I never imagined in a million years that this would be a topic on this podcast, which has to do with sex and sexuality, etc. Kitty litter.
Yeah, well, it's something called toxoplasmosis. Okay, so you know when you know something, you know a lot about a subject, and all of a sudden you get this like new fact about a subject that freaks you out.
Yep.
That's what happened this week.
Okay.
So toxoplasmosis is a parasite. It's a feline parasite. Okay. So what happens is pregnant women have been told for years that they can't change the kitty litter because it can affect the baby. And really? I don't know if you knew that, but it's really a thing.
So, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you are exposed to this parasite, and it's an intermittent, so they've been doing some research in Yellowstone on wolves, and what happens? It's toxoplasmosis is a feline parasite, so it doesn't make the wolves ill at all, but the parasite changes their behavior, making them bolder and more inclined to take risks. And it turns out the same thing happens with people, and I'm like, what the hell? So here's the story. So it's kind of a convoluted parasite, but basically it reproduces in a cat intestine, shedding out little tiny thick-walled eggs in cat poop, and then it goes all over the place, and then rodents eat it. And then it has to get back into the cat to complete its life cycle. So the eggs change the mouse's behavior, and instead of making the scent of cat a fearful thing, it makes them attracted to them sexually. So all of a sudden, the mice are like doing a little dance in front of the cats, going, "Eat me, eat me." What they found out is that people who are sexually promiscuous, who are sexually aggressive, who are generally have rage issues, are more likely to have been infected with toxoplasmosis. So if you were a kid and your parents had cats and they didn't manage the kitty litter very well and you got exposed to it, it may have changed your behavior. And I'm just like, I'm gobstopped here because I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? Because I never knew this. It was just so cool. So you need to be aware of, get the cage over the kitty litter, and don't let pregnant women, and sure as hell don't let your kids change it. And because it really does affect people who are more likely to be masochistic. And so it's 40% worldwide of people who've been infected, 11% in Canada and North America. But they're finding that a disproportionate number of sexual deviants have been exposed to this. So I'm just like, holy smokes. And because the science is pretty compelling about, large mammals. Like I said, if wolves get it, it makes them go off and become a lone wolf and take to risks and not be in a pack, but they're more likely to start their own pack and have their own babies. And anyway, so I thought it was really interesting.
I never had a cat growing up, so explain.
You have a cat now, Mr. Moo. Yes, careful. Gloves.
But I was masochistic and sadistic and all of those things long before the cat came into my world, though. Anyway.
Then the stats, I can source all the new research, and I'm telling you, it was jaw-dropping to me. So, yeah, I posted it on my TikTok, and people are like, no, I have a cat. How am I going to protect my kids? And I'm like, read, get informed. here's the drill. So it's if all of a sudden, you change behavior, your sexual behavior changes radically, just get tested for it. You can get tested for it. I thought it was
I
a really
think that's a great excuse to get me out of changing the kitty litter going forward. I don't know who's going to do it, but it's just like, nope, that can affect my
gloves.
mood
Get the
negatively.
thing, gloves, the whole bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, we already have loads and loads of masks around to protect ourselves. So there's
There
that.
you go.
All right, Sue, next up, White Tiger Sex Techniques.
Not tiger, it's tigress. So
Oh,
this
well.
is okay. So here's the deal. So the white tigress is the modern guide to sexual teachings exclusively for women that are 3,000 years old.
Okay.
So it came out a few years ago that this basically there was very few white tigresses left. Basically, these are geishas, but they're Chinese, so they're not Japanese. They're kind of basically undertake disciplined sexual and spiritual practices to maintain their beauty, youthfulness, and to understand their incredible sexual prowess. So they're still exist in Taiwan, but they wanted to preserve this. So they wrote them down sort of from ancient teachings. And it's fascinating, but basically it says, no, don't worry about intercourse. It's all about swallowing the semen. In a nutshell, it's not just the secret, because they do all these exercises to keep them young, and they have some techniques with their jawline to really extract the essence that will keep them young, if you get it.
Mm-hmm.
All about basically world-class blowjobs. And it's you can get it on Amazon. White Tigress, talking about the best oral rhythm for sex, and why, and they've long proved that semen is good for you. It's good for your skin. It's good for your teeth. It's got all kinds of vitamins. It's really actually quite good for you. It produces labor. It's got prostaglandins in it. But they are actually taking it to the next level and using it in a way that's been 3,000 years old as a way to create youthfulness. And by all accounts in this book, all of these women look, 20 years younger, and apparently men follow them around like sex slaves because they give the best head ever.
Well, when you think about it, I mean, the semen is half of what brings us to life. So, I mean, is that the fountain of youth? I know that'll conjure up an image for a few folks, but is it?
I don't know, but it's a really interesting process. And so people were asking me about it, and I thought, you know what, I need to talk about, sort of it's not it's the ancient Chinese secrets of
Yes.
exceptional blowjobs. So
Well,
if you're feeling like your technique needs a revisit, pull it out. It's hard to get through. I read the book. It is hard. In fact, I have it electronically. So if somebody wants to write me, sue@sexwithsue.com, I will email you a copy of this book. And yeah, there's like you're like, just saved you $30. This is like, basically it's a summary of the book, and I'm able to do this, and you get really first class sex education here, and you're going to get it for free. So sue@sexwithsue.com, send us a note, follow us on our amazing blogs, and I will give you the world-class blowjob techniques for women.
the irony of downloading the ultimate book on blowjobs. Just
That's
say
3,000 years old in the making. Yeah.
Okay. Sex bucket lists, says Sue, are boring. You have a better bucket list.
Well, I was looking at, when you're talking with your friends, I have all these girlfriends that we talk about sex, and bucket lists, and saying, okay, what's new? And they, blindfold, and, we're going to light a scented candle. And I'm like, yawn. Holy smokes, these are boring. I wanted new ideas. And I must have Googled like 20 pages, like, hundreds of articles. And I found nothing new. Nothing. I was like, this is awful. Nobody's got anything new. So I thought, screw it. I'm going to make up my own bucket list of things you can do. And this was, a little bit of work. I just did some stuff, and about basically a lot of the stuff is the same, but I wanted things that were new. So there were things like bite each other, which I thought, oh, that's good. But then they had the C spot or the X spot, and I thought I haven't talked about that in a while. The C spot or the X spot is basically the cervix. So you go all the way to the back. Go fingers all the way, like sink it to the mid forearm.
That's the wiggle the finger pointing upwards.
Finger is the G spot because it's the
Okay.
first two knuckles. I want you to go all the way in until it feels like the end of your nose.
Like fisting?
Like fisting, but
Wow.
basically right to the back, and it poke on the cervix, which they're calling the C spot. Debbie Teitelman wrote a book in the 90s that I used, that I interviewed her on the X spot. Same thing, because there's 20% of women who, when they get a pap test, you got to scrape them off the ceiling because they hurt so much because they've got nerve endings around their cervix. Most women don't, but some women do. And they're talking about this sensation at the back of the vagina. Most women, myself included, back of my vagina it doesn't feel like anything, and which is a godsend during childbirth, but it is not a big, it doesn't have a lot of sensation except for that small proportion. So for some women, I would certainly test that. Blue squid color markers, washable color markers. Amazon selling them for $40. You can write in all these different neon colors all over your partner's body, and they're washable, and you just wash them off. So I'm thinking I wanted ones made of soap so that you could do them but they don't seem to show up. But the blue squid ones, bright neon colors, and you can write dirty words or lick me here or write all over yourself and get your partner to follow the instructions. That's a good way to get what you want. So I thought that would be that's a fun thing to do on a Tuesday night. Yeah. Okay, and then I went on Pink Cherry, which is my favorite sex toy site, partly because they give me loyalty points, and I love loyalty points because, it's free shit. And I really like that they get delivered quickly, and I love their prices. And they have some blowout sections that are 90% off. Their Rose vibrator, which is all the rage, again, about $35. It just looks like a little rosebud that you're holding. Okay. And it's the right size, it's the right feel, it's got the right vibrations. Kind of a new thing.
I'm guessing the inside of the rosebud kind of quivers and tickles. Okay.
It's in there, and it's like it fits really well.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like it. They have these new for $2.95 right now. $2.95. They have tongue vibrators. It goes around your tongue and vibrates. So yes, you're doing your tongue thing, and if your tongue gets tired, you can just lean the vibration.
Wait. This is like a tongue strap on? Is that what this is?
Strap on. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Oh my God.
You tie it on. But no, for a lot of guys who, what they used to do is stick their tongue out and move their head back and forth because they're
No.
I know. Well, their tongue was tired. Now you can cheat and I asked a couple of lesbians, and they're like, Sue, you don't have one in your kit? And I'm like, no, I guess I better get one. The tongue vibrators are all the rage. They have $4.95 sex sleeves and $8 butt plugs and $6 vibrating panties. So this is the bucket list on a budget. Yeah, the bucket list on a budget that you can do. Pinkcherry.ca in their blowout section, 95% off right now. Because after all the Valentine's sales didn't happen, they just mark everything out to get their warehouse out. So they've got a lot of really cool things, and start your own little kit. So I used to say, go to the hardware store and get this, the ties and the plastic sheets so you can slide all over the place and whatever. But trying new things that work, I think for me, it involves, I spend $30 a month at Pink Cherry on there, and I get a box. And every time I'm looking for something new, I'm like, oh, I have a box. I can open up something that I haven't tried before, and let's try it. So guess what I ordered this week? I ordered tongue vibrators, and I ordered, a new sleeve, and I ordered the $6 vibrating panties. And we're going to let you know, because we need to start our own sex bucket list, because I'm telling you, the stuff, if you Google it, it's super boring. Super boring. You need to do way more fun, exciting, interesting things that are not the same old, and you're going to do it on a budget, and you're going to do it easily and effectively, and it just shows up at your door in a brown box.
I was on the Pink Cherry website last night looking for something. I missed that. I'm going to have to
go to the blowout section. Blowout section. Yeah.
Blowout section. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
See, and listen, you being a listener of this podcast, you've already got an advantage when it comes to creating great bucket lists, because Sue McGarvie's doing all this homework for you. Way to take one for the team, Sue. It is Turned On the podcast. All right. Can I bring up again, I find myself, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm unlucky, Sue, help me here. I keep having conversations, and I guess because I've put myself out there, because I talk about this publicly, because I'm on the radio, I seem to attract them like flies. But people who, for some reason, purport to be aware of what swinging is, and then you get into a conversation, and what they're really looking for is to cheat. Is this a
Or
common
friend with
thing?
benefit.
Yeah.
Well, the whole idea of ethical non-monogamy is about being open. Ooh, I have the quote right here, actually, because I was doing my non-monogamy class last night. Open marriages work, or swinging, whatever that looks like, is because of unconventional unions are focused on good old-fashioned communication. Telling the truth shows your partner respect, as does following agreed upon rules. Right? The goal of a swinging open relationship is never having to lie, to create an environment where you can be open about anything that makes you uncomfortable and afraid. So you can do that with swinging because it's about consensual non-monogamy. You go, and so swinging's different. There's sort of a bunch of different kinds of ethical open relationships. One is swinging where you go together as a couple, and as a single, even if you go alone, you go to some place, you play, and you come home. Usually it's together. You go together and you come home together. That's usually
But in
swinging.
every element of this, hot wife, etc., there is consent. There is a conversation. And
Absolutely.
again, I ask, is it just me attracting these people who hear swinger and think, aha, I can just automatically have sex with this person? Or are other people experiencing this as well? I would love to know if I'm the only one attracting this.
I think that there's a lot of misinformation, right? They're saying that
Yeah.
it's 4 to 5% of the population. 4 to 5% of the population of the United States is half of Canada. That's how many
Right.
people that are swinging. Like, there's
Right.
lots. And they are, and there's lots of people, but it's still only 4 to 5%. So the rest of the people are thinking about it and hearing about it and going, being a swinger just means if somebody says they're a swinger, it means that I can have them morning, noon, and night. There used to be a morning show on where we are, and you and I both know the hosts. And they were talking about, would never go to Hedo on Valentine's Day because that people can go up to your wife at the breakfast table and bend her over. And I'm like, that doesn't happen, like, at all.
Exactly.
Like, are you kidding? It doesn't happen. It's about consent. So this idea that you need, yeah, it's they have very clear set upon rules, and you ask 100 different swingers what you want, and you get 100 different answers. And if you want to cheat, that's not consensual non-monogamy or ethical non-monogamy. That's just cheating. And if you added cheating to the open relationships, it would be way more than 4 to 5%. It would be closer
Yeah.
to 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
some people like the taboo of it. I'm going to cheat it, but it's about betrayal.
Except here's the thing. Okay. And I'm here to tell you, cheating, you will get caught every time. It will lead you to a miserable, awful place that you're never going to find your way out of. The hurt that can potentially happen, it is just, it's not worth it. And it's not the same. Swinging, you need to involve the other partner. So I hope I'm the only person who seems to be attracting these people. I don't think I am, based on what you just said.
You're saying you're a swinger, and people think, oh, like I used to have it where I'd go to places and I'd say they're a sex therapist, and like, will you have sex with me? And I'm like, no, right? I'm a therapist. Like, you missed that part of it, right? You don't say that to your doctor. You may think it, but you don't say it, right? And I think they don't say that to their regular amazing radio host, but because the radio host mentioned that they've gone to a swing club, oh, you must be a swinger, therefore you'll have sex with me. No.
It's been the most frustrating part of my existence ever since I came clean publicly about, who I am and the things I like. And I guess that's the basis of my question. Is it by virtue of are they star fuckers or are they swingers?
No, I think that there's a lot of people who are just clueless. So another free thing I'm going to offer, you want to come and join my non-monogamy class as a sit-in audit. It's by Zoom. Send me an email. If you are actually interested in non-monogamy, in ethical non-monogamy, I happen to be running a course right now. Send me an email, sue@sexwithsue.com, and we will include you in that conversation so you can actually get informed. Last night we did all the, it's Monday nights from 7 to 9. We did all the terms. What is a hot wife? What is cuckolding? What is
Right.
metamour? What is compersion? What do all those terms mean? And so when you go there, and next week we're doing contracts and boundaries and communication and all of that good stuff that you have to do before you become a swinger.
Sue is sexwithsue.com is her email address, and I hope you will take her up on her invitation.
Yes, as opposed to propositioning my co-host.
Which is fine as long as other people in your world are aware. All right. Favorite role play fantasy ideas.
Ooh, oh, I love this one.
Are these yours or mine, or are we going some
well,
whole other place here?
I was like, again, looking for a role, and you have the same old ones, but there's some tried and true ones that are good. The doctor and the nurse, or the doctor and the patient, the cheerleader,
Boss
and
and secretary. Yeah.
yeah, you got all that.
Yep.
But what is so somebody asked, so they did some research about ones that were really liked, and they had some crazy ones, the alien and the spaceman.
That's huge.
I know. You know what the number one is? The border patrol. Bad border patrol, bad cop.
Really?
The policewoman pulling you over, spread them, mister. Or bad border patrol girl with the baton. And
Yeah, I can see the police thing. I hadn't considered border patrol. Isn't
they are apparently, the sex shops sell those costumes year round.
Yeah, well, I bet.
Yeah. All right. So they had new ones. Apparently, moving up the list, royalty and servant. The royal family's really, they become fodder for dystopian life, basically not being stranded on a desert island, but being the last people on Earth. And how would you propagate the species again?
Oh, I like that.
I know you like that one, all right?
Hypnotic
love, the hypnotist and the and the client, right? I'm gonna.
See, that's creepy. That's creepy to me.
All right. So then, I'm gonna turn the tables and be the client who tries to, be hypnotized. I don't know. So that was a thing. The maiden and the pirate, but they had a one about to take off, right? The plane. It's not the Mile High Club, but it's sitting down, and it's before you take off. It's the I'm sitting down with somebody, and it's the nuances of how do you get into that? How do you get to a point where you are in a situation where we can pull the cover, get the blanket and put it over our laps and see what happens, right? This little handy thing. So I don't know. Obviously, people have had those experiences.
Don't you find on an airplane, Sue, it's such a confined space, and it doesn't lend itself to that at all. But yeah, people accomplish it. I marvel at the stories that I hear. Don't you?
Yeah, my partner, flew a lot first class. So, he's got more Mile High issues and experiences than anybody I know. So,
see, I just between the bag that I've shoved underneath my seat, and the headphones and the armrests and the seat belts and the nervousness of potentially getting caught and the people across the aisle from you, which I know some people get off on, but it's too tight a space. It's too confined for me.
My problem is always liquid, right? I get aroused. You can smell me. I make a mess. I'm not interested in soaking through, I'm squirting about, no, I'm going to make a mess. I got to sit in it. No. Unless you fly.
All the more reason, though, to want to be with Sue on an airplane.
Oh my God. Puppy pads and no, because that's the piece, right? It's the same thing with cars. They've got the air conditioned seats and the heated seats, and I'm thinking I'm going to squirt all over the place and I'm going to wreck it all. But and a lot of women agree with me, but we'll see.
Well, cars can be cleaned up. I promise you that. You ever spilled a coffee in your car? That's a much bigger mess to clean up than anything. Well, maybe not.
Airplane seats. Anyway, for a lot of people, that was the list. So if you have any new ones that you are role playing and you want to get, because I'm thinking that would be fun.
Let us know.
I have a storage unit full of costumes, and I'm thinking, we could just play this thing. That would be fun. We could do all of that. But, yeah.
See, things that don't surprise me anymore. Sue saying, I have a storage room full of costumes.
Oh, yeah. We pay money every month to store costumes.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Again, it doesn't surprise me that you would be able to say that.
This weekend, and I just bought this stretchy silver lame bodysuit, which is going to be with the because I'm going to we're going to do Ace Frehley and Gene Simmons, and we're going to get the makeup, and we're going to do. You should come and join us. Come to Kiss.
Listen, if you're going to be Gene Simmons, go to Pink Cherry and get that strap-on tongue. There you go.
Well, I've ordered it, so let's see what happens.
I got your back, girl. This is Turned On the podcast. If you've got questions, comments, and fantasies you want to share, again, Sue's email address is
Sue@sexwithsue.com.
You can text the show as well in Canada, 613-604-6464. And in the States, 941-725-6455. You can subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Google, Spotify, and more. And we'll be back about a week from now with more of Turned On the podcast. Bye, Sue. Mwah.
Bye. Mwah.
Happiness.
That was good.
Perfect.
Easy.
25 minutes, too. I'm going to end the recording. If this hangs up the call, I apologize. It shouldn't, though. Hang on.